Welcome back to episode 5 of trying to make my perfect wedding cake, and I only have 3 months to figure out what I'm gonna do. Today's cake is going to be a black forest cake, and I'm gonna be honest, this cake was not on my radar at all because I don't really like the texture of cherries, but I was requested to make this by my manager for his girlfriend's birthday because black forest cake is her favorite and he was paying me $200 to make it. So I was determined to make it the best black forest cake she's ever had. From my hours of extensive research, this cake is traditionally made with chocolate sponge cake, not butter cake, so I adapted my sponge cake recipe I used for tres leches into a chocolate version, and the base itself was some of the most perfect sponge cake ever, so we were off to a great start. I got my cake pans filled and set those in the oven to bake while I worked on my filling, and this is where I worked smarter, not harder. I made a cherry liquor syrup with cognac because I couldn't find traditional kirsch, and removed the cherries once it was done and poured the syrup into a container to cool. I took those same cherries and put them right back in the pot and turned them into a compote so I wouldn't waste them. Then I reserved some of the compote and blended it into a puree to add into my whipped ganache base because, as we saw from the last video, I am now obsessed with whipped ganache. We literally have cherries infused 3 ways, it's giving bacon. And I got myself a proper leveler now to cut the cakes into 4 layers, wrap them up, and stick them in the freezer. The next day, I made a stabilized whipped cream with vanilla pudding, and the texture was so wonderful, and then quickly whipped up the ganache. To assemble, I soaked each cake layer in the syrup and built thick dams for the filling because if any got out onto the icing, I was gonna throw the whole cake out. But alas, we got this cake layered beautifully, and then I slapped the crumb coat and final coat on. I swear each time I get faster at this, and then it was time to pipe. I was dead set on doing a vintage piped cake, so I used the 6B tip, some random star tip, a leaf tip for ruffles, flour on the edges of the ruffles. I piped some mini shells, and I ate with those, and then piped big shells on top before filling the center with a standard ganache, making it look cute, of course, and the final touches of the pipe whipped cream for the cherries to sit on. And I even threw on a happy birthday sign. When I tell you I was gagged, like my hands literally made that, and my manager said his girlfriend loved it, and I too love this. It's not overly sweet, it's rich but not too rich. I am a fan. So what flavor should we try next?